Welcome to part 4, and this is going to be a small video, but just going to talk about the last pieces. You can see that's the major difference between the two consoles. The North American one is quite a bit bigger. The LED light shines forward, and the Super Famicom goes on top. And the PCB boards are actually quite a bit smaller. So this one I've already taken off, the North American, and I've already made kind of a new one already. I was not too sure on the LED light, so I didn't solder it in until I plugged it in to test it to make sure I didn't have that reversed. So that it's all correct, and I did test it. So all that's left for this one is basically to solder it in, put it back in, and solder the pins on. We can take a look at this one for a bit, and it's a little bit different style. So what I'm going to do is desolder these pins. And what I'm going to use is a desoldering station. You can see that does a really good job. Let me do the whole row, and then I could take a look under the microscope if you want to see a closer view. This is already leaded solder, but if it wasn't, I would probably solder these up with leaded solder first. And if you ever get one where there's still solder on, actually just put solder on it and then redo it. It needs it's got to be airtight so it can suck the solder from the other side. Might as well do, they went pretty fast, so I might as well do the other half. You want to make sure all the solder is off, because otherwise trying to pull this apart could be a bit of a pain. So it looks like it has these little tabs. I'm just trying to push on them here. That came off fairly easy. It's too bad this one is pretty dirty, but what I might try and I'm doing is try to maybe retro bright it or change the color of it. Eventually I might buy one of those, if you ever see those clear cases on AliExpress, BitFun X, then I think it comes with this piece that is clear, and then wait and hold off for this piece, because I think you need to, no, either solder on or it comes already together, I'm not sure. So that's the first bit. If you want, you could unsolder the LED, so why not just do it just for the heck of it. And I think yeah, you need the connector. And that's a ferrite bead. I'm not sure how that's on. Looks like it just glued on, I guess, right? Well, that didn't come off very well. And that looks like kind of a mess too. Oh yeah, yikes. So let me clean this off with some acetone and let's check it after I'm done that. I cleaned off it best I can. Just a little bit of glue left over here, but it should come off. One thing I did notice is that when I'm looking at the new board I made, it did not come with the through holes for the LED. So on this one here, I'm going to have to scratch off some of the solder mask over here, and solder and basically the LED right onto the copper. So it'll be okay for this board. I guess I could try chancing drilling a hole through it, but it's probably not really needed. And there's nothing really here to short out either. Well, let's try unsoldering this connector again. Just gonna get my gun to heat up again. So I did contact on the GitHub. I posted a message because I looked at the designer on his eBay page has a picture of his boards and they do have the holes. So I'm not too sure what happened. Like I said, I did check the CAD design and on KiCad it did not have the holes. So maybe there's a different revision. Once this gets up to temperature, I'll try giving it a shot again. And then we could take a look. I don't think we need to look under the microscope for this, but let's try to zoom up here, see if I can zoom up a bit. Let's just give it a little wiggle, see if it actually comes off. Pretty straightforward. Looks nice and clean, no bent pins. So basically that's the board. And if you want to take off the other bits, if you want to keep them. But I do have extra resistors and I do have extra LEDs, but this is a, what's it say, 160 ohm, and this is a standard LED. And that's probably the positive side on this side. So let's get the parts and let's try to build this one. All right, so I'll show you what I did for the LED in a second. But first I'm just going to solder in this connector. All right. You could just speed up the video. I know this is kind of boring to watch. I didn't use no flux this time. And I got the resistor, the one I got from Mouser, a little bit of a big form factor. It's kind of much bigger than the original one. All right, so I'm just gonna. And what I'm going to do for the LED is basically I took this LED, I bent the legs like that, and literally I'm just going to solder it on to the board like that. So I'll solder the one on the resistor leg. So let me put a little extra blob of solder on the bottom here. I almost need 3 hands for this, right? That one I'll probably reflow again with some flux. Didn't stick very well. Basically that'll work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to solder this one on. Then I'm going to plug it in the Nintendo and make sure the light comes on before I finish the rest. I don't want to fill that hole, so just want to tap it just on the side a little bit. All right. So that is on. I'm going to just do a quick test, and I would suggest always testing it because you don't want to do it twice. And I'll come back. If it works, we'll do the reassembly and plug it in and give it a shot. So I did test it. It does work. And I guess that resistor doesn't make it too bright. So let's just put this back together anyway. And then we'll resolder on the pins. I want to show you that's the resistor I got from Mouser according to the spec. It is kind of a big one compared to that little guy there, but I guess it shouldn't matter. Let's see this here. I might have to heat up this one little joint because I think I got some solder inside the hole a little bit. Not that way. All right, just double checking, make sure it's all flush. So how does that one work? You might have to play and bend this LED a little bit though, so it focuses into the actually looks okay. It was bent a little bit this way. Alright, so let me solder this back together. I'm just going to use a drop of flux on this one here because the LED didn't seem to solder very well. And then again, I got 5 of these boards, so if somebody needs one and you're local, I'll give you one for free. When you buy PCB boards from JLC PCB or PCB Way, for whatever reason, I'm not sure, maybe it has something to do with manufacturing, but you always have to order a minimum of 5. One mistake I made though is I should have paid the extra money because I don't know too much about board manufacturing. I should have got the boards with the gold plating. The blue and gold would look pretty cool. But unless you're using a clear case, you're probably never going to see it anyway. So that's why I did kind of a combo. I did a blue main board, green control board, and a red soundboard. So that's all done. Just let me clean this off with some ISO, and we'll go back to my other table, and we'll plug it in, and we'll try a game with it. So I plugged it in. I did remember to put the ferrite bead on there. I'm not sure exactly what that does. Must be for some kind of interference. And let's just give it a shot here. So it does look pretty blue and bright on the phone. Well, it looks like it's working now. And that'll be the last part of my video. Oops, sorry about the jiggling there. So I have a couple of these, and I'll probably make another one, or try to maybe buy one of those clear kits one day and redo this. But that is my open Super NES fully built. And hope you like the videos, and if you have any comments, please send a message. If there's anybody local who wants one of these boards, I do have a few extra ones I would actually give for free if you are a local person and want to pick one up. Thanks for watching.